Hi everyone, BMU here. Just want to share a quick update and overview for RiftLite, which is the TCG Arena / Rift Atlas companion app for stat tracking and community features as well. So this is going to be like a general overall guide how to use it, but for anyone that doesn't know about it, it should help you sort of learn about what I'm trying to achieve here as well. If you want to get into the testing, you can join the Discord. I'll post a link below. You can also grab me on Twitter as well, which is at SC.MeUp. Again, I'll post that below. So essentially, this is the companion app. Right now, I'm on the stats screen to show you sort of what it can generate. These are my personal stats. And then there's a community option as well, which shows everyone's who has logged matches so far. Shows you all their matches, their win rates. You can drill down into like scores and stuff like that, but we'll run over that cool feature. So basically, when you first load, it will load TCG Arena automatically. You can sign in. Once you've signed in and things like that, it will remember you as a normal browser would. But that first time you'll need to sign in, then for that to work. So on the left-hand side, we've got the toolkit. One of the buttons is a session button. So as you win and lose your session, it will track that as well. You can turn this off and on. If you want your matches synced automatically to the cloud, the community page, all you need to do is turn sync on. It's off as default. Once it's on, it will remember it's on. It will sync all your matches as you log them. If you want them just to keep them to yourself, you can turn that off. You can also sync at a later time through the matches tab as well. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't sync that match. I meant to. You can go through the matches tab, sync them. And then you can also sync the data manually to your hub of choice. So you can create an own private hub for your teams and your friendship groups, whatever it might be. And you'll have access to all the community features, but specifically for that hub. And it's password protected and things like that. So it's quite, you won't be able to access it if you're not in it. You set your username here. So when you first log in, you'll have the option to set your username. For it to work well, I would suggest copying it exactly as your TCG Arena username would be, or your Rift Atlas username would be. That's how this sort of interacts and figured out who is who on the game board. And then lastly, you've got a screenshot feature. So that'll just take a quick screenshot of your board state and save it to a folder of your choice. You can change the folder by right clicking. That allows you to sort of take a snapshot very quickly of a board state. So say you're in a really difficult decision, you're not sure what sort of move you should have made. You can easily just hit the screenshot button. It will screenshot that board state, save it into a folder, and you can review later. And then last but not least, you've got a Discord button that will open up the RiftLite Discord, and the YouTube button, which will point you to my YouTube channel, which I'm going to make guides and follow-up videos on this. So that's why I've done that as well. So say you're on TCG Arena, you're just about to start a game, and you think, oh, do you know what? Yes, I want my session running. So I've clicked the session button. I don't want to sync this match just yet, but I want to basically record all my data so I can get better at the game. I can study my matches, things like that. So the easiest thing to do is to click on Match Tracker at the start of the match. Once the battlefields have loaded, once the mulligans have been done, fine. Hit the scan button here. That should pick up who you are, who your opponent is, who their legend and my legend and their legend, and the battlefields. If anything of this information is missing, you can type over, hit the scan button again, and it will save. Same with the battlefield. So it's not loaded my opponent's battlefield. It's not found it. So we're going to teach it. So if we type in ZA, it'll come up Zorn Warrens instantly. And then after the game has been played, so we played this game out. I went first. It was a best of one. I went first. We won. I won 8 points to 6. These are the battlefield. Op was very aggressive. Don't know. Played 3x copies of Y card and things like that. Things of that nature. And then all we have to do is set the result. So did we win? Did we draw? Or did we lose? In this case, we are the winners. So we click the win button. That'll log the match and reset this ready for your next game. Same for Rift Atlas. This is open and closable, by the way. It will remember all the data and things like that. Same for Rift Atlas. So if we go to Rift Atlas, we're loaded into a game. We hit the match tracker in the top right. We go scan, and then we hit scan for the battlefields as well. Rift Atlas is a little bit more intuitive to pick up information from, so it's a little bit better on Rift Atlas. But as you can see, it picked up me, it picked up my opponent, picked up my legend, opponent's legend, picked up both the battlefields, and same sort of theory. You know, we went second, we lost. I had 6 points, they had 8 points. These are the battlefields. Don't need to put notes in if you don't want to, and log it as a loss, like that. Now, once you're done, again, it'll reset all the data, so you can close that, carry on playing. You don't need to leave it open during the match either. You can just open and close it, or whatever it might be. And you can see that the session here is recorded 1 win, 1 loss. Now, say I want to go back into those matches, so I can click the match. So here's the 2 matches that we logged. So Vex versus Jinx versus player 7795, and obviously a loss, Pike versus Vex here. So if we click on this, and where you can double click on that, so it'll give you sort of more information on how that was played as well. You can also edit it if you made a mistake as well, so it can be edited if it needs to be. Other than that, you can just see like a little snapshot down at the bottom here, say like game 1, my battlefield 0.628 went second, lost in this matchup. And then later on, if I want to sync it to the community or sync it to a private hub, I can come down here, press sync to, and select where I want that sync to. So community or my private test hub at the moment, and then just click the sync button, and that'll send it to the community page then as well. You've got a breakdown of all your opponents here, which is searchable, so you can search for certain opponents. Say, for example, I know I've played a very good player called Rupio Bot. I want to see what my my win-loss against Rupio is. Start typing his name, it'll auto search there, and it'll grab when we last seen him, our win record, and things like that. And then the sort of like amalgamation of all this information is in the My Stats page. So this is specifically for me. So these are all the matches I've played, what legend I've played on the left, what legend I've played into on the right, as well as a stats screen here. It's a little bit buggy at the moment. Again, this is the beta. I'm fixing this. But it can show your performance over time, your most used battlefield, your highest win percentage on the battlefield as well. But at a glance, you can see, what decks you're doing well with, what decks you're not doing so well with, who the good matchups are. And again, this is all personal to you. So we just played, let me remind myself, it was Pike into Vex. So if we go down to the Pike here, we go down to the Vex, we can click on that, and it will show the date of the match, the result of the loss, and who went first and second, the game winning points, etc., etc. You can see the battlefields, the first, second, match history here, and so that displays it at like more of a granular level as well. And then finally, you can go to the community tab, and this will show you the community leaderboards, sort of how many games people have played, win-loss percentages across that. You can double click on people, and it will load up their specific stats in the match history as well. So you can sort of delve into a little bit about like who doing really well with this deck. So for example, Jer right now, he's played 12 games. It's saying he's won 4-1 on Ezreal. We can see that he's played 2 on Ezreal here, played a couple here, played some more here, etc., etc. So this is all sort of showing his match history, if you will. And then if you go to the legend meta, it will show you like who's being played the most and how many matches and win percentage. And then again, this is the match matrix. So this is for everyone who's logging matches on RiftLite. So it gives you a really good idea of like the online meta, who's playing what. And again, you can click into these, and then you can see that, majority of these games, or one of the game that's been played, Aurelia into Victor, is Jer again. And then you can sort of see that game details of a best of 1, best of 3. We can see here that he lost into Fiora. We can see here that, Colin, I think that's Colin Kaiser, by the way, which is interesting, has a loss in this matchup, Ezreal versus Draven. He went first on these, and he didn't log the battlefield, so obviously the information isn't there, but you can see partial data as well. And then finally, the My Hub bit, so you can create your own hubs for team testing and friendship groups and things like that. Once you've created your hub, you can basically say, oh, my hub is called test hub. The password is whatever it might be. Join hub. That will automatically join you to the hub. And then you can view your hub as well. So, and then you can break down the hub into recent matches and things that you would be able to do on the normal community tab as well. So that's currently the overall view and how to use everything. Right now, I am working on a replay feature. So it will give you the match events as well as like a timeline and what happened when. It's a little bit more complicated to implement, but I'm trying to get it to work, and I've got some help coming as well. But other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. And again, if you want to get involved, please let me know, and I'll be happy to help. Cheers, guys.